Hi YouTube! In this video I want to show you a very affordable entry-level smartphone that I got from GearBest. This phone is called the Ulefone Be X. It comes in a tiny white box like this one with some specs on the back that are actually correct. It comes with a USB data and charging cable. Comes with a 5-volt USB wall charger. GearBest also included a plug adapter. It also comes with a screen protector, and last but not least it also comes with a very short instruction manual that is in different languages. This phone has a 4.5-inch capacitive 5-point multi-touch screen with a 960 by 540 QHD pixel resolution. It is an IPS display and it looks like it could be a one-glass solution. It has the MT6592M Octa-Core CPU inside, which is clocked at 1.4 GHz. It has 1 GB of RAM, 8 GB of internal memory, and it also supports TF cards up to 32 GB. Right now it's running on Android 4.4.2 KitKat. It is a Quadband, it is totally unlocked, and of course it also supports 3G/UMTS. It has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, a GPS, a G sensor, a proximity sensor, a light sensor, but that's it. It supports USB on the go. It has firmware updates over the air feature. It supports HotKnot, which is something similar to NFC. It has off-screen gestures and a smart wake function. It has 2 cameras, one main camera with an 8 megapixel output, autofocus and LED flash, and it's a f2.8, and one front-facing camera with a 2.4 megapixel output and it's also a f2.8, and of course this phone is a dual SIM dual standby phone. The phone weighs about 137 grams and it is about 10 millimeters thick. Let's take a closer look at the device. You have your front-facing camera right here, proximity and light sensor right there. The home, back and menu buttons are soft touch buttons and they do not light up. On the bottom we have a microphone. On the left side we have volume up down buttons. On the top we have a 3.5mm headphone jack and the USB port. On the right side we have a power button. On the back we can see the main camera and the LED flash, and the back cover actually has some sort of texture to it so it won't attract any fingerprints. And we also have a silver Ulefone logo right here. And if I can get this open for you, I can show you the inside. On the inside we can see that it takes 2 SIM cards, one regular size SIM card and one micro SIM card. This is where your TF card goes. This is a 1900 milliamps battery, and here we have a mono speaker. Like always, I installed additional apps and games for demonstration purposes. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment sections below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more, please stay tuned. The stock launcher is quite smooth and snappy. I mean, there's really nothing special about the stock launcher. It doesn't have any special widgets or anything, and the firmware is very clean. You really can't find any Chinese bloatware installed on this phone. But let's start by going into the settings. Let's go into about the phone. Right here we can see that it's running on Android 4.4.2 KitKat, and also right here we can find the wireless updates. If Ulefone ever decides to release a firmware update, it can be downloaded right here. Let's go back into the settings. Let's check out the languages and input. Now here we have all the supported languages on this firmware. There you have it, those are all the languages. Let's go back into the settings. What else do we have here? We have some security settings with some app permissions and the usual stuff. Nothing special. We have a power saving management. Next up we have something called action. Right here we have something like a double tap to wake, or we can quick start some applications by drawing different symbols on the screen. Let's just give it a try. Let me double tap to wake the screen, and it's working. Let me just draw a C, and that should start the camera. And this is also working. Let's go back into the settings. We also have something like flip to mute or waving to answer and snap page to make snapshots or to start the camera and stuff like that. Let's check out the storage. Now here's again the good news. The entire internal memory can be used for installing apps and games, which is always very nice. Let's see, what else do we have here. We have HotKnot, which is similar to NFC but not really. You can only transfer files from one HotKnot device to another HotKnot device. It does not read any NFC tags or stuff like that. Let me go into more. Let me go into mobile networks. Right here we can choose if we want a 3G or 2G data connection, and we can also freely choose which one of the SIM cards is supposed to be the data SIM card. I think that should cover the basic settings. Let's get out of there, and now let me go into the engineer mode. Let's go into the MTK settings and check out the band mode, SIM 1. And right here you can see that is a quad band, and those are the supported 3G frequencies. So please make sure to check with your service provider if your frequency is supported or not. Next up, let me do a very quick phone call.
EU-Ausland nach Deutschland telefonieren oder im mobilen Internet surfen mit den EU-Paketen von Altitalk. Weitere Infos.
Well, I guess the sound call quality is normal, nothing to complain about. Let's check out some Google apps. The Play Store comes pre-installed and it's working just fine, so that's no problem at all. Let's check out Google Maps. And it found my location right away. We can zoom in and out, and we can also try the Street View. Of course, I tapped somewhere where the area is not covered. Come on, can't be that hard. Let's check out Street View. There we go, Street View. Street View is working just fine, but as you can see, there is no compass mode. That's because this phone does not have a magnetic field sensor built in. We can also test YouTube. It's loading. Let me turn down the volume. Let me go into the settings and the quality settings, and you can see the maximum playback quality on this phone right now is 360p. I don't know why it's not higher, but I guess that has something to do with the screen resolution. And of course we can also watch in full screen, so YouTube is working just fine, but not in a very high quality. Let's see, what else do we have here? We can test some sensors. So let's go into the sensor box and let's go back. So this is the accelerometer, also known as the G sensor, and it's working just fine. We have a light sensor. We can give it a try, and as you can see, the light sensor is working fine. But that's pretty much everything, except of course for the proximity sensor. Proximity sensor is working, and we also have the sound sensor, so we can test the microphone and it's getting readings, but those are only the only sensors that are supported. We can also check them out on CPU-Z. Right here we can see that it has 8 cores and it's clocked at 1.3.6 GHz. And again we can go into the sensors, and those are the only sensors that are supported on this phone. What else do we have here? Let's check out Antutu. And Antutu says, wait for it, it scores at about 28,531 points, which is not bad at all. Now it should be able to handle almost anything you throw at it. Let's check out some details. We have the screen resolution right here. We have the MT6592 and the Mali 450MP. Let's see, what else do we have here. We have the multi-touch. Let's test the multi-touch. and as you can see it is a 5-point multi-touch, and when I scroll all the way down you can see again the only supported sensors right here. Let's check out how the GPU performs. Now I'm not gonna run this test, I'm just gonna show you the latest results. It's scored at 55.1 frames, and it is an OpenGL 2.0, and of course it only has the QHD resolution. So the volume is not bad, but of course the screen resolution isn't that high. Let me kill some apps. Let me free some memory. And let's do another test. Let's try Quadron Standard. And like always, I'm gonna start the test and I'm gonna do a jump cut because this is boring to watch. Almost done. And the score is 11,484 points. Let's get out of there. We can also compare the Wi-Fi signal strength to my Xiaomi Mi 4 to give you an idea. And as you can see, the Wi-Fi signal strength is quite high, so I really can't complain about the Wi-Fi signal strength. Next up, let's go into the camera real fast and take a sample picture. I don't really have much light right here. Now the focus isn't really the fastest. No, I don't want to use HotKnot. And the picture quality is okay, I guess, but please make sure to check out some sample pictures on my blog. Let's also go into the gallery real fast. Let's check out some wallpapers. Let me just load some random pictures. Let me flick through them, and it's loading really fast. Of course, we can also watch them in full screen, and it's really snappy and fast. Nothing to complain about. Of course, we can do some zooming. Let's test out a quick video file right here. Let me turn down the volume. Like always, this is my standard 1080p MKV video, and of course with this SoC it's running smoothly and it's looking good, but I really can't say if those are the greatest viewing angles I've ever seen, but it's definitely an IPS display. Let's get out of there. Let's check out the music player. Let me just play a song. I don't know if you can say, but this is very loud, but in my opinion, nothing to get too excited about. Next up, let's try the USB on the go. So let me just hook up my USB thumb drive. Let me go into the file manager. It'll take a minute to mount, cancel, and there we have it. It found the USB thumb drive, so USB on the go is working. Let's just open a picture in the gallery. So USB on the go is just working fine. And last but not least, let me just go into the browser. Let's go into my bookmarks and let's load the BBC homepage. It's loading quite fast. Scrolling and rotation is no problem. Let's do a little zooming. Zooming is also no problem at all. But let's be fair and let's load the desktop side if I can find it somewhere. There we have it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the delay. It's not so easy to find everything through the viewfinder. So here we have the desktop side, and it's also handling quite well, so browsing is not a problem on this phone. I guess this pretty much covers it. Now let me tell you what I'm thinking about this phone. Some thoughts about this device. The build quality is okay. It feels quite solid, but the buttons are a little bit wobbly, and as I said a million times before, I'm not a big fan when they try to make plastic look like metal. The display is okay, I guess. I mean, QHD isn't exactly the highest resolution, but I think it is acceptable on a 4.5 inch device. The performance is good, it should be able to handle almost anything you throw at it. The Wi-Fi reception is very good. The GPS reception is good, but the accuracy seems to be a little jumpy. Sometimes it jumps from 2 meters to 5 meters and then back to 2 meters, if you know what I mean. The call sound quality is normal. The speakers are okay, they are quite loud but not very clear. I'm happy with the GSM and 3G reception, well, at least in my area and with my service provider, I really can't complain about it. The camera picture quality is something you need to judge for yourself, so please make sure to check out some sample pictures on my blog. You can find a link in the video's description. The LED flash is very bad. In my opinion, the flash is pretty much useless. Now, this phone does not have many sensors, only the basics are covered. There is no notification LED and the soft touch buttons do not light up. Well, I guess you can't have it all for this kind of money. Bottom line, I think it is a cheap phone, no question about it. Depending on what your needs, it may be enough. Now, the overall performance is not bad at all, but it's definitely not a mid-range or high-end device. Last but not least, let me try to show you the viewing angles of this phone. Let me do a little gaming. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll watch me next time.